Hello. Welcome to Boneheaded Podcast. Um, it's been a minute since we've been here. A lot has happened in the time that we missed, but there are a lot of things happened. Our friend flew in from New Mexico, and then our entire friend group got COVID. And then now Joaquin has food poisoning. So it feels like it just keeps piling on.
Yep, but we still gotta do the
We
episode. We're
still
here. We're
The
here.
finals ended a week ago, but we're finally here to talk about it. um, Joaquin sent us his thoughts on everything that's happened, so we will still be including him somewhat in this episode. He won't be forgotten. Um, but first things off, thank you all for coming and to listen, and make sure to follow us on Twitter and TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube, and we're on iTunes and Spotify. So, Sean, how's it going? How you been?
Well, I mean, other than COVID, I've been all right.
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm kind of, I guess, yeah, bummed that I didn't get to watch more of the finals. I
Yeah.
was pretty dead for while it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm ready to talk about it. I definitely did my
Yeah.
research, so
I got to watch the last couple games, because I couldn't do anything else basically.
fair.
Um, and that last game was basically just all Golden State. Like the whole,
Yep.
like Golden State went up, or the Celtics went up 15-2 early. Golden State then outscored them like 50 to like 30 in like the neck for the rest of the half, and it was just over from there.
Yeah, no, Golden State put in the work. They
Yeah.
really impressed actually.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Um, the fact that they came back from down 2-1 and won three in a row just
That
shows
Yeah, I'll say that doesn't surprise me, to be honest. That
that it does not surprising.
they're cold with it.
I mean,
Joaquin would be just boosting them
yeah,
right now if he was
well,
here.
Joaquin is a Warriors fan, so we're kind of sad that he's not here because
Yeah,
I want to
the
hear
energy would have been amazing.
his energy. I'm sure he's very excited, and just overall great victory. Um, was there any person that, or Steph Curry, obviously phenomenal,
Oh
but
yeah, I mean, kind of expected though.
but but also Andrew Wiggins also played very well.
You know what? I gotta give it to Joaquin. He may not be a superstar player, but he's still like, a, I'd say a star player.
Hmm.
Like that.
He's an
I gotta give
all-star.
him credit. Yeah, exactly. He's an all-star, so I gotta give him credit.
I mean, if Steph wasn't dropping like 30 every game,
Yeah.
he probably would have had the Finals MVP. Like he
Yeah.
was also clamping Tatum,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so he just all around. And then you have Draymond, which
Yeah.
who
Double
fouled
doubles, like,
who
and
fouled
fouling
out
out.
like every single game basically, or close to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that okay. I might get roasted for this. I feel like that's not that new.
I mean, it's not new. It's just in a
So
finals, you kind of don't like.
yeah, you need to be
You,
more
you need to
conservative.
be more like chill, because
Mm,
your impact, his impact is more like it's better for him to give up like a couple points and be on the court than foul out and to have be like save like a couple points, you know.
hmm hmm
But their experience really showed in this.
Yeah,
Um,
I
their
agree
offense
completely.
their offense basically flowed through Green and Curry. Um,
hmm
Green's one of the great facilitators of the NBA. So even though his points aren't there, he's definitely has the offensive impact.
Yeah. Um, I'm still impressed with Poole. He
Hmm.
had more than just a couple of good games, in my opinion, or for a six man specifically.
Yeah, for a six man.
Um, and yeah, like I don't. I feel like any of the big names we could mention, I don't think any of them slacked off a lot.
I
Like, I mean,
think
Clay
Jason
had his good
Tatum
game at one point. Or okay, I meant on the Warriors, but
on
yeah,
the
no,
Warriors. Yeah,
fair, fair on the Celtics.
we'll transition to the Celtics soon. Yeah, but now I think that Steph Curry is now in the top 10 all time of players.
Oh
Would
yeah,
you put him? I would put him at like 9 or 10 still, but he's
anything other than 10 for me is hard to say.
yeah.
But
But
I mean, this is a lot of rings. This is
he
a
has 4
lot of rings.
rings, 2 MVPs, Finals MVP, all-time 3-point leader. Like he has all the shooting records basically. Just
hmm
and some people are saying that they would take him over Magic as the best point guard of all time, which I still think is a little bit of a stretch.
I don't know, man. This is like because Magic is different. I mean, like Magic was my favorite for all time for a long time. But
Yeah,
so I mean, I'm biased partially. I don't know how well I can really judge that, but I mean, Steph's a great player, man. I mean,
amazing.
yeah, I mean, he showed up this finals. He showed up a lot of others. Yeah, it's
So
just
crazy how this was his first Finals MVP.
yeah, no, that is
That
it's
one,
actually crazy.
that one where Iguodala got it just always bamboozled me.
Iguodala is just interesting
Yeah, but
player.
but what happened to the Celtics? What do you think caused them to lose this series?
Well, I definitely think something shook Tatum, or maybe just lack of finals experience. But actually, this I don't think this is his first. Is it
Who?
Tatum's
His,
finals?
yeah, it's his first finals.
Okay. Well,
But
then I
he's
think
only
it's just
19, right?
okay. Um, but I just think his lack of experience is what came in specifically as the difference in this one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Steph has multiple finals experience, so I'm not really stressed about him. Versus, if it's your first time, it's definitely more stress inducing.
Also, for the Celtics side, Williams was playing through a knee injury.
Mhm.
But what really concerned me about their team was Jason Tatum's shot selection. Like, it was really bad in this series. He did not take good look shots.
I agree. I think that has to deal with his mental.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown stepped up.
He did.
He's the only reason that they were even fighting in the series. Without Jaylen Brown, they probably would have lost like
So,
4-1.
other than like the first game, and I guess the last one because he did he did really well in the last one. But specifically Al Horford, you
Mhm.
know, he's been having an amazing playoffs appearance so far,
Yeah.
except in the finals, other than the first and last, he did not show up.
I mean, it's just his impact wasn't as needed because the Warriors don't have that big. So I don't know. I mean,
It's kind of fair.
he's not offensively really there and kind of a liability on
God,
defense.
Jaylen Brown really tried. Holy
I mean, yeah, he went on. He played good basically. I think almost every game of the series. But overall, I think the downfall of the Celtics was their inexperience.
Mhm.
But I definitely think their window's still wide open.
You know what I think though? Like, I mean, now that they have it and they can build off of it and work off of it, I wouldn't say Celtics just don't go back to the finals next year. I mean,
But the East is gonna be
it's chaotic.
it's chaotic. But the Heat are probably gonna be back. They're probably gonna retool and be back there. The Sixers will probably still be around. The Nets will probably be competitive, barring
Well,
injuries.
and most of all, Milwaukee too, in
Milwaukee
my
will still,
opinion.
yeah, like
Bringing back Chris Middleton would be big.
Chris
I
Middleton. Chris Middleton probably would have helped. I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
Chris
Oh yeah.
Middleton would have won the Bucks that series. If and or at least would have made it to a game 7. Um,
I think that having people better and more experienced, assuming there's no injuries, of course, because I mean,
yeah,
like Williams was a loss for sure. He's got to stop getting injured, to be honest. But it's got to
it's
be something. But I think they have a a better chance they do next year than they did this year.
yeah. I just think like most of the people on the Celtics played consistently decent. It's just the fact that Tatum, like, I don't want to like bag on him. He's still an amazing player, but like it's the finals and now you choose to have your slump. Like he was playing good all playoffs and then in the finals he didn't show up.
Well, it's not like he never showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, he in 2 of the games they won, he dropped 20 plus.
Yeah. But on what efficiency?
Fair. His shot selection was shit.
Like I'm looking and game 3 he shot 9 for 23. Like
Yeah.
and 3 for 9 from 3, which isn't like horrible, but like not what you want from a number 1 option in the finals.
I'm feeling a lot of people would probably just argue that, they still won though,
Yeah.
like
I mean, yeah, but that's because the whole like
the whole
Jalen
team.
Brown still played
Yeah.
well. Al Horford played well. Williams played good. Smart played well.
I think what we should be mentioning about him isn't that he did not the best during the series and just he didn't stay consistent.
Yeah.
Because my thing with Tatum specifically is he had his good couple of games, but I
Mhm.
mean, like every series before this one, you're right. He was consistent. He played amazing. He clutched up when he needed to. I mean, like, look at the Heat series.
Yeah.
Look at what
Yeah,
Tatum did in the Heat series.
he clutched
Like,
and then the Nets and like every series.
yeah, exactly. Like, Tatum did amazing. And just having these off games,
Yeah.
it was just too hard to come back.
Yeah. But I mean, the Warriors just showed that even if you have like the best defense, good scoring, experience still beats you.
Yeah, experience is crazy.
Like
I definitely agree with that.
it's such a big factor that it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and the Warriors, do you think this was one of their most impressive rings that they won? I think this is their like the best like situation wise what they went through this year and like the past couple years. This is the ring that means the most to the Warriors.
Part of me wants to agree, just partially off of, they also, as much as they have an amazing team still, it's not a super team,
Yeah,
like
like
they had
they have the
at that
highest
one point.
payroll though. Like
Yeah.
so
It's
um
just,
it's just
it's, I definitely think this one definitely means a lot.
yeah, like 2 rings with KD against humbled Cavs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
With it's literally just LeBron, and then 1 ring against the Cavs again, which where it was like Kevin Love and Kyrie got hurt.
Yeah.
But this one, like Steph was injured going into the playoffs.
This
Clay
was
was still recovering, and like
definitely a fight.
yeah,
Like I personally would be very impressed. I mean, like, yeah, Clay being injured going into the playoffs, that was crazy. Knowing
and
that, Clay stepped up in certain games, Poole stepped up, Wiggins stepped up. I mean, like, it's not like it was just a Curry playoffs in general. Now it was Curry finals,
like
but
Curry finals, yeah.
yeah. But to get there, it definitely wasn't just Curry though.
But next year the West is gonna be a lot. Like it's also gonna be really difficult.
I I know this might be crazy to say. It's interesting to think about how I think the East is looking better than the West. I feel like that's hard to say most of the time.
I think the West is far better because you still have the Suns. The Mavericks got better.
Well, I mean,
Hey, the Suns are still respectable.
yeah, I know. Just
You have the Warriors
that was
still.
embarrassing.
The Grizzlies are still gonna be there. The Nuggets will have all their stars back. The The Wolves will still be there. The Pelicans are on the rise.
Well, I want to see the Pelicans in action before we put them on this list.
Yeah, but and then you have the Clippers with Kawhi and PG. Like,
I guess off of injuries. I want to know if
and
Kawhi
the
is going to be the same.
Lakers. I
I
think
don't
he
know if
will.
Kawhi will be the same though.
I feel like
I
they
hope.
did the smart thing by resting him the rest of the season. Like he might have been able to play if they got into they
Yeah,
got the 8 seed. But I mean, injuries aren't what they used to be. We have a lot more modern technology, so
I agree
he,
with this. It's just
he
it's still
like if he's not this like as good as he was, he's still a top 2015 player. Like at,
probably. You're
like
probably right.
and you have PG who's also a top 15 to
I'm
20
not doubting
player.
the Clippers won't be a presence. It's
Yeah.
more of just also for most of the names you mentioned, there's an East team that you can mention back. Like
Like with the East, you have the Heat, you have the Sixers, the Bucks, the Celtics. Like
and the
after that,
Nets.
and the Nets. Well, maybe because now Kyrie is speculating that he's there's connections with him and the Lakers and LeBron.
How funny would it be if Kyrie and Westbrook got traded? So it's Westbrook and KD again, and Kyrie and LeBron.
I don't know how that would work, but
Probably not well, but
Nets still there. So that's 5 teams, right? You have like 9 teams that in the
well,
West that you could see being
realistically, right?
competitive.
That's 5 like really good teams.
Yeah.
It's not like the West has that comparison, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't. I guess West has more depth, and East has more
I
all-star
mean,
teams, in my opinion.
I feel like the Clippers are up there, the Suns are still up there, the Warriors are up there, the Grizzlies are up there, and now the Mavs are
The
also up
only
there.
reason I'm really struggling with the Clippers right now is, age is a factor, my guy. How old is
Yeah.
Paul George now?
I mean, he came back from injury and was dropping 30. Like
True.
it doesn't seem like
I
it's
don't know how
like
much
I
I can.
mean, nowadays you have people play like look at LeBron, he's 38 and still averaging like
LeBron's
almost 30.
different
That's
though.
I
Don't
know,
compare
but
LeBron to Paul George.
age isn't what it used to be. I mean, like Jimmy Butler's 33, 34 and still had like 4 or 5 40 or like a couple
I am
40-point
curious how old is
games.
this
Like
man?
I think Jimmy Butler's 33.
No, not Jimmy Butler. Sorry, I
I
was
think
curious.
Paul George is around that
Well, he's
age.
30. Yeah, 32.
Like he's still in his
He's younger than I
like
thought he was,
he's
to
a
be
little
honest.
bit like he's mostly like he's on the outer rim of his prime, but like he still is like athletically and physically there, in my opinion.
I look forward to the Clippers actually doing something.
Yeah.
It's hard for me just to blindly support them, even with
Mhm.
their amazing players. Because yes, Kawhi is amazing. That is definitely established. And Paul George, coming off an injury and dropping 30, as you said, shows us that he's still got it.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to support the Clippers like that because
I don't know.
my entire life the Clippers have been.
Personally for me, it wouldn't be surprising if the Clippers came back and were like a top 3 seed. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
In the West, really?
In the West, yeah, really. Like I wouldn't be
Actually,
surprised.
that's valid. I don't know. It's just right now I'm thinking Memphis, Warriors and Suns again.
Yeah. I
But
think the
assuming
Mavs also, because since while we're on the topic, I want to transition to they
go free.
traded for Christian Wood. They
Mm-hmm.
traded a first, Traylon Burke, Sterling Brown, and Marquise Chris, interesting name, for Christian Wood, with the Rockets, and I think this is a fantastic pickup for them.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Not as in I don't believe in it, as in like I have loved Luka his entire career so far. I want to see him win. Like I want to see him prosper.
His defense is there. His scoring efficiency should go up with Luka because Luka is an excellent passer.
He's definitely a playmaker as well.
And
Yeah.
I think that well, time will tell, but like it's trending toward that this is what they were hoping Kristaps Porzingis would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he fits the big that thing. I personally would have rather them gotten like a Rudy Gobert, DeAndre Ayton, but Christian Wood is still fantastic.
Oh
And
my God, DeAndre Ayton.
and for the value that, I mean, it was like the 26th overall pick by that point, most of the talent is already. It's like who
Hmm.
like all question marks at that point.
Yeah,
So I think the Mavs are right up there with the best in the West. Like they were a fourth seed last season and they
I
got
still want to
better.
see it because sometimes chemistry can be
Yeah,
off, but um, I would love for the Mavs to be at like a top 3 seed. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
yeah. Like Luca, amazing. I mean, their whole like it all depends on if they keep Jalen Brunson because I think he's a restricted free agent
Yeah.
and how much money they're willing to pay him.
Hmm.
Um, would you pay like if he came to you, asked for like a 4-year, $80 million contract, would you give that to Brunson?
4 year 80. I mean, that's I don't know, man. 20 mil a year is a lot.
But like what's your other option? What's your
Yeah,
other
well,
option?
that's the thing is if I'm the Mavs here, like, do you have a choice?
Yeah.
Like, well, the
Like
Mavs have money.
hmm
That's the thing. So
and Mark Cuban isn't afraid to go into the luxury tax. Like,
exactly. Um, I'd probably say yes,
yeah.
especially for how well Brunson did.
Yeah. He
Like
kind of in that Warriors series, he kind of took a step back, but I think that's just because the Warriors are
the
fantastic.
Warriors,
The
yeah.
Warriors, I mean, they won the finals. They're fantastic, but
I'm
he's
not
still
gonna
young,
pressure
and
him
that
about that.
like another year of his
Well,
development
I think they need to
should just
keep
get
him
better.
for the youth because, like, the youth on the Mavericks is looking amazing.
Yeah.
Like that development is going crazy right
Um.
now.
So some free agency buzz, unless you have one more thing or like another thing you were about to
No, go
say.
for it. Go for it.
Okay. Bradley Beal, still is a free agent. Links to the Heat, I think the Blazers as well,
I don't
and
think he'll go to the Heat.
and the Lakers.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean the Lakers are always linked to big free agents because they're the Lakers. But
Yeah, fair.
do you think he just re-signs a supermax with the Wizards, or do you think another team tries to draw him in?
I mean, he's a good player.
Great
Like,
player.
um, I definitely think teams are going to be interested.
Hmm.
I just don't know what he's going to be asking for because
I
at
mean,
the end of the day, he and money is what matters.
yeah, I think.
So
Well, the Wizards will probably offer him the max, and if he cares about money, the other team would have to
exactly,
match that
exactly.
if they want, unless he really cares about winning, which he might.
He might. I have no idea to be
Because
honest. I
like
don't
if
know
he
Bradley Beal that well.
goes to the Heat, like they're right up there in the East and the entire NBA with one of the best teams.
Isn't Bradley Beal a shooting guard?
I think so. Let me double. I don't know exactly. Like positions now are like up in the air.
Well, how tall is he? That's the real
He's
question.
6'3", so he's a
Okay.
shooting guard
Yeah.
or PG.
Point
Like
guard.
you could probably put him at both either.
He's a guard. Is
He's a
essentially
guard.
the what it is. Okay.
Which they could use another guard.
I just don't
Um,
know if it's what they need, but
I also think I don't. This is going a bit off topic, but for the Heat, I
I
think that like they could use another big and move.
offensive
Yeah,
presence.
they could use an offensive big and move Bam to the power forward spot,
Hmm.
which, in my opinion, where he should be. He's a little bit undersized. He just isn't aggressive enough to be like a great center on the offensive side at least.
It's funny to see the different types of centers in the league right now because
Yeah.
there's so many different types.
Hmm.
There's people like Carl Anthony Towns, and then there's people like Joel Embiid. Like
And then you have like the all around like Jokic, which
yeah,
is like
exactly. And I don't think Bam really fits under any of those like
yeah.
subcategories. So I wouldn't mind seeing him at power forward. I think that is a better position for
And then he could be more of an offensive
him. Hmm.
threat. Also, still Rudy Gobert out there. We don't know what the Jazz are gonna do. Their Quinn Snyder did step down. I think we talked about that on our last
Yeah.
episode. But last like thing I could like think of maybe like Kyrie Irving also is now linked to the Lakers, and they like basically it sounds like he wants to test free agency at least.
If the reality is, if he's linked to the Lakers, what are they doing with Westbrook?
Yeah. What if they just have all four? Like they have KD or AD, Westbrook, LeBron, and Kyrie. Like that's a super team.
That's just
Maybe
a
like
small team.
that's just I mean,
not
yeah.
like Anthony or LeBron. I
If
guess it's just
80, I
like
mean, if 80's healthy, which who knows anymore at this point. This man's made of glass. Um,
I love to see him healthy. He's a great player when
I
he's
would love
not,
to see him healthy as well.
dead.
But
Kyrie's like 6'3", right? Oh no, 6'2".
Kyrie, my guess is he just goes back to the Nets. I don't really see. I think he still has unfinished business with
Mhm.
the Nets, and I think he still wants to prove himself.
Yeah, if he goes to Lakers, he's not proving himself. A lot of
Because
people are gonna make jokes about him going back to LeBron.
getting swept in the first round, like he played good the first game and then kind of disappeared, like
Mhm.
in that series against the Celtics. And
The thing that Kyrie would bring if he did go to the Lakers is good playmaking.
yeah,
Like I think a good point guard or guard in general who would be good at playmaking is kind of needed.
hmm
Um, but I just don't see him going back to LeBron, man. I
I
thought he
mean they're
did.
still friends.
Yeah. But I meant like you're right. He wanted to prove himself, but he's not doing that if he goes back to LeBron. Let's be real.
Yeah, I have a question.
Hmm?
How informed are you on draft prospects or like the top 5 draft prospects?
Not not that informed to be honest. I know a little bit, but not a lot.
Because the draft is tonight, which
That's wild.
it's tonight, which is really close to the finals. But do you
Finals
do
aren't
you, do
usually
you
in
know?
June.
Yeah, Chet. A lot of people like. There's no definitive number one.
Mhm.
Do you know? Do you have any outlook on who the Magic take number one?
Honestly, the Magic. So I usually like basing it off of what a team needs. The
Yeah,
Magic needs everything. Like
they don't need guards. They're fine. I mean, they have I forgot the dude's name.
I can look. I'm
That
looking up their
rookie that
roster.
he was on the all rookie team last year. Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner.
Okay, and they
Um,
have Markel Fultz.
yeah, like they're
Okay,
like I
which
don't.
is, I don't know. They just the Magic aren't in a good place right now, so I don't know what they'll pick. I mean, knowing like the Magic, they'll still pick a guard if there's a
Yeah,
star player guard, like
I
rising
think
star, I
I
should
think
say.
the Magic like size, so I think they're gonna take Chet number one. Like if I had to predict that.
Mhm.
And then OKC probably takes Paolo or Jabari Smith. You can go like the top 3 players are all power forwards, so
I
you
mean,
can
there are a lot of good big men coming out of
yeah.
college right now. I do know that.
hmm
Um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they took Chet.
But if they
Isn't he
don't,
like 7 foot?
yeah. The only concern is like his frame. He has like a KD like frame where he's tall but skinny.
Yeah, he'd have to bulk up to be
Um,
a true center.
yeah. But I mean, Kate, you don't have to be bulky. You just have to be like physically strong, which he might be. We don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
I never.
if he isn't taking number one, I think the OKC just scoops in and gets him
Oh,
at
for
2.
sure. I don't think Chet goes past 2.
But it's basically whoever what the team likes, like just overall, like
Hmm.
who they think will is chemistry wise, who they think will enjoy being on or want to play for the team.
Hmm.
Um,
Um. A guard I was following actually in college this year. He was on Kentucky. Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I
Shaden
think he'll be
Sharp.
a yeah. I think he'll be a top five.
I think I
I don't know who
heard
will take him,
what I've
but I
been
think he'll be a
hearing
top five.
is his like his ceiling, like he's like raw, like a James Wiseman. Like they're
Hmm.
not the same type of player, but like he's very raw talent wise, and like it's like a developmental, like he could be amazing, also he could be like really bad
I
kind
think
of
that raw talent will
player.
get him in top five, though.
Yeah,
I'm so serious about it because
like
seeing him in college, it was wow.
I mean, top teams are fiending for talent,
Yeah.
so they'll probably do whatever they can to get like, even if it's like potential talent, like they'll take a swing at it.
Hmm.
um but I think that wraps up our episode. We might not have an NBA episode for a little bit because it's nothing really. It's the start of the off season. Nothing really big's gonna happen. We could do like see, but I think that's the end for this episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and TikTok and subscribe on YouTube. This episode might be delayed on YouTube because Joaquin usually handles that side of things. But thank you for listening. Share with your friends. Give us a rating of 5 stars, please. Hit that like button and have a great day.
Have a good day, guys.